Hi, Rebecca here. Thanks for joining me on your mat. Today's practice is going to be strengthening and stretching hamstrings. Hamstrings are kind of metaphor for what we're holding on to in life. Like, why are your, um, there's a saying that's like you're hamstrung. It's like this wanting to hold a certain amount of control on the back side of the legs, which equates to wanting to control certain things in our lives. So this is a practice about softening and letting go. Sports that can tend to lead to tight hamstrings, like cycling and running. So yoga is a great practice to stretch and strengthen those hamstrings. Let's begin with a little centering, anchoring through your hips, lengthen through your spine. Let's take 3 rounds of breath. Inhaling, arms rise. Exhale, press the palms down to center. And as you press those palms down, just imagine that kind of that energy drawing you to your center, down toward the earth. And then inhale, we elevate and lift, expand. Exhale, we ground. Maybe soften your gaze for this last one. Inhale and exhale. You might want a couple of blocks for this practice, so I've got mine here, and I'm just going to place them off to the side. We're going to begin kind of just testing our hamstrings in a forward fold, but we're going to do this a little bit differently. So with the hands on the thighs, we're going to play with cat-cow, tucking chin, tucking tailbone, letting the shoulders and the upper back round. And then shoulders draw back, tailbone presses back, pull the sternum through. 2 more like that. Inhale, round. Exhale, lengthen. Last one. Lengthen. Now I want you to we're going to play with an active stretch. I want you to bring your hands behind your back. This allows for the shoulder blades to retract, to stay extended through the upper back versus rounding. And then play with a hinge, hinging the torso out over the hips. And if you're feeling tightness in the hamstrings, by all means bend the knees or place a blanket or something underneath the hips and then lift it back up. And then we're going to hinge. Again, hands reaching back. This is an active stretch. Flex your toes up towards your shins, but press those big toe mounds forward, kind of spiraling the pinky toes inward. And then rise. One more time like this. Hold it here. Inhale and exhale. And then release. Hands are going to come along the sides. We're going to play with leg lifts, so working the quad. When we work the quad, we can help create more length and extension through the hamstring. Modified version would be taking the hands back. The further we bring them forward, the harder it gets. You could prop up on finger tops. We're going to begin with the right leg. I want you to hollow out the belly. Shoulder blades are protracting, and we're going to lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it up here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go, maybe. Tap it out. Other side, ground through your hips, scoop the belly in and up, protract shoulders, and then lift and lower for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then bring it down. We're going to cross the legs, come forward to tabletop. So different variation of tabletop here. Shoulders stacked over wrists. I want you to start to walk your knees back here, maybe like 6 inches. We just want the knees so that they're not stacked under the hips. The hips are slightly forward. Again, checking in with your shoulders out over wrists. Then I want you to keep your arms nice and long, lock the elbows, squeeze your shoulder blades onto your back, let your chest drop down toward the floor, but try not to just lift and bend through the tailbone. We want a nice, long, extended spine. And then draw your chin toward your chest. And let's hold it here. Slow, steady breaths, like 3 to 5 rounds. Keep pressing those shoulder blades together, chin toward the chest. Lift your navel up toward your spine, toward the ceiling. but don't round through the lower back. Just lengthen. One more inhale and exhale. And then I want you to tuck your toes. Start to walk your hands back toward your knees. Toes pose. You might stay pitched slightly forward here, depending on how intense this is in your feet. If you can, stacking the torso on top of the hips, try to make sure that the heels are pressing toward one another, that the heels are not dropping out to the sides, which might mean for some of us bringing a little more weight into the big toes. And then if you need to, manually fanning out the toes so they all get this stretch. So you might think, what do the bottoms of your feet have to do with your hamstrings? In Thomas Meyer's book, The Anatomy Trains, he shows us that fascia actually connected from the bottom of the feet, if you think plantar fascia, run up all the way up the back sides of the legs, up along the spine, actually all the way to the top of the eyebrows. So it is known as the back line. So we are working from the bottom to help stretch and open that back line. Let's take 3 to 5 deep breaths here. If you need to come out of it, come out of it. Soften your shoulders, the muscles in your face. Want to make sure that we're not tensing up in other areas of the body as we're trying to open up another. All right, release it. Come forward to all fours. Point the feet and tap gently out the tops of the toes. And then we're going to come into downward facing dog, sending the hips high, pressing the heels down toward the floor. It doesn't matter if they touch or not. So we start to open up the backside. Maybe you pedal it out here. That might feel really nice in the calf. And also the hamstring, you might feel that stretch all the way up. And then start to walk your feet towards your hands. Feet about a fist width distance apart. We're going to come into a chair pose, but I want you to try to keep your knees stacked over your ankles, sending your butt back, reaching your arms forward. With a nice long extended spine, engaged core, you could, if this feels like too much and you want more support, you could bring blocks right underneath the hands. And you should start to feel your glutes and your hamstrings light up as we're sending the hips back, knees over ankles. And then take some small pulses here. A little more weight into the heels. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it low for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then rise to standing. Let's reach our arms up overhead. Full body extension. We'll take a little cactus back bend here. And bring it back to center. Hands on hips. We're going to do a split stance hamstring stretch. Right foot's going to step forward. We're going to come onto left toes. Now notice my thighs are parallel. This leg is not back. It's forward so that my knees are side by side, my thighs are side by side. I'm getting a nice stretch in that left foot. Hands to hips, and then hinge and fold. Just coming down about halfway, long spine, and then rise up. Hinge at the hips, head reaching away from the tailbone. And we're going to do that for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Let's hold it here. Inhale and exhale. And then we're going to step left foot back, pyramid pose. You could use blocks on either side of your foot. Bring your the floor a little closer to you. If the hands reach comfortably, Just bring the hands down to the mat and you're folding and softening out over right leg. And let's do a little flossing. Bring the weight forward into right foot, lift through left heel, and then left heel comes down, flex right toes. Shift the weight forward, left heel lifts, shift the weight back, right toes lift. Forward and back. And then with both heels planted, soften and fold. Let's take this a little closer to the floor. Bring left knee down, straighten right leg. Again, you might use blocks on either side for the hands. We're going to play with a little rotation here. So the heel is pressing down, toes are flexing up, and then I want you to drop that right big toe to center and then take that pinky out to the side. Big toe to center and then pinky out to the side. A couple more times. Playing with internal and external rotation. Bring the foot back to center. So big toe mound is pressing forward. Pinky is kind of drawing in toward the center. Second and third toes are up toward the ceiling. And then scoop the belly, hollow out the belly, round and protract through the shoulders. And then if you can, lift right foot and lower. It can be helpful if you can't get the lift to bring blocks underneath your hands for this. Again, lift, find that cat, scooped out hollow belly, and then let it go. And then one more time like that, lift, and release. So holding your half splits here, or maybe moving it toward full splits. 3 deep breaths. And then release. Downward facing dog. Lift your hips high. Hold, pedal, sway, whatever works for you here, whatever your body feels inclined to do. Follow those inclinations. The body knows. Trust. Remember to soften. And then walking the feet in to the top of your mat. Inhale, rise. Upward salute, cactus goalpost arms. And then back to center. Now left foot's going to step forward. We're going to step that right foot back, coming onto the toes. But remember, knees and thighs parallel, hands to hips, and then hinging, reaching the top of the head away from the tailbone. Spine is long. And then rise. Hinge. And rise. We're going to do that for 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to hold it here for the in-breath and the out-breath. And then step right foot back, pyramid pose. So feet are hips width distance apart. Think like feet on skis. So the skis are not crossing. Right toes angle up slightly toward the right hand upper corner of the mat. Soften and fold here, maybe using your blocks. And then shifting the weight forward, lift right heel, and then right heel comes down and left toes lift. So just do a little flossing here with the glide forward and back. And then both soles of the feet down, fold forward, soften even more. Back knee comes down, half splits, left leg straightens. Now pressing into the heel, flex the toes up toward your shin. Press that big toe mound forward, slight spiral of that pinky toe towards center. Second and third toes facing up toward the ceiling. And then softening and folding. Breathe, surrender. Don't try to control anything. And then if you want a little bit more challenge, adding that leg lift. So shoulder blades protract, scoop the belly in and up, and then lift the leg. And bring it down. Again, blocks can be really helpful underneath the hands. Again, hollow out the belly, shoulder blades protract, lift the leg. And release. So working those hip flexors that we worked a little earlier in a seated position. And then let it go. Maybe stay in your half splits hold or play with a full split variation or somewhere in between. You can use blocks here too underneath the hamstring to support the opening. And then gently release, draw the leg back. We're gonna come to a seat and we're gonna test out our fold. So sitting nice and tall, try to keep the spine nice and long and extended. So if it's helpful to you to continue to keep the hands behind, keep the hands behind. But we wanna think about shoulder blades drawing onto our back as the hands slide forward. Don't get caught up on touching your toes. And hinging and folding out over the legs. 3 deep breaths. See if you can drop your ribs onto your thighs and keep lengthening the top of the head forward. Couple more deep breaths here. And then release, shake it out. You might even bend your knees and just gently windshield wiper the legs outside to side. Come to a comfortable seat, closing the eyes. 3 deep breaths. And palms together, heart center, keeping the eyes closed. May this position of the hands at our heart remind us to be guided by our hearts. Hari Om Tat Sat.